and commotion point not the way. Peace and devotion brighten the day. Johannes Huber. These are the words of Johannes Huber, one of the early pioneer settlers of Midway, Utah. Among other things, Johannes was a historian and poet. His homestead, now known as the Huber Grove, is part of Wasatch Mountain State Park and preserves a rich history of early life in the Heber Valley. Johannes Huber, a fisherman in Switzerland, met Mormon missionaries and joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Johannes was soon called to serve a mission himself in Switzerland. As a missionary, he taught many associates, including Maria Magdalena Munz, his future wife. In 1863, Johannes, Maria, and several others who had joined the LDS Church immigrated to Utah Territory. Johannes and Maria married and eventually moved to the newly settled Provo Valley, which was later renamed Heber Valley. Huber's homestead, then referred to as the ranch, originally sat on 160 acres and consisted of 5 buildings: the house, built in 1878 and 1879, a pot rock creamery, built around 1885, a granary, barn, and a privy. The granary and barn were located opposite the house and across Snake Creek Road. West of this granary was a very popular spot called the Huber Grove, where people came to picnic and camp under the protection of the trees. Only the house and creamery remain today on about 8 acres of land, maintained by Wasatch Mountain State Park. The small house, built of lumber Johannes sawed at the old mill, was set upon a foundation of local pot rock and housed 9 children. Originally, the home was built with only 2 rooms downstairs and an attic, where the children slept. Later, the Hubers added a lean-to, which served as a dining room and kitchen, and then an additional summer kitchen at the back of the house. The picturesque creamery behind the home was used to store various dairy products, including milk, cheese, cream, and eggs. The upstairs rooms served as additional bedrooms for the children, as well as lodging for many traveling visitors. The farmhouse and creamery represent true Swiss-style architecture, and these buildings and grounds have served as the backdrop for many weddings, family photos, commercials, and even a few movies. The Huber buildings are only a small part of the charm and history of this area. One of the highlights of the Huber Grove is found in what remains of Johannes's extensive apple and pear orchards. Shortly after settling in the area, Johannes ordered 350 apple trees and began what would soon become a huge family operation. The care and harvest of the fruit was not only a source of personal satisfaction, but an important food staple and moneymaker as well. His orchard was one of the first in the valley, and many of these trees are still fruit-bearing today, over 100 years later. Visitors to Midway will notice several apple trees scattered throughout the valley. Johannes would give, as a gift, a young apple tree to each newlywed in the area. The Hubers were very generous and hospitable. Friends and strangers alike were offered food and shelter within their home. Music and art were developed and shared as freely as homemade onion soup and apple pie. The Huber home site was a popular gathering place for many residents of Midway, and celebrations and parties were common. Today, over 100 years later, Wasatch Mountain State Park maintains this historical site. Visitors are encouraged to come and walk the grounds, tour the buildings, and read the words and poetry of Johannes Huber. Interpretive signs help bring this family's story to life, expounding their trials and triumphs. The park holds an annual apple harvest in the fall, offering a unique opportunity for visitors to experience the Huber Grove firsthand. Weekly tours are given throughout the summer, where topics such as nature on the ranch, the apple orchard, family life, and the building and architecture are discussed. Donna Packard, a seasonal interpreter at Wasatch Mountain State Park, leads a group of visitors on a tour of the grounds. While visiting the Huber Grove, keep an eye out for wildlife, such as wild turkey and mule deer, who seek shelter under the trees and eat the apples that have fallen to the ground. In a park known mostly for its superb golf opportunities, off-highway vehicle riding, and camping, the Huber Grove is truly one of the little-known gems that helps make the Utah State Park system so rich and unique.